All right, let's get into this today. All right, so today, August 13th, 2020, on a Thursday. My two on my watch today, IGC again. Now, if you look at IGC, so this is what I'm seeing, right? Let's see. NTN was my other one for today, but I want to go to IGC first. So, IGC, this is the 1 minute chart, but I want to go to the year chart. Yeah, here we go. So as you can see, IGC is a recent runner. Okay, look at that. Boom. We're talking at the beginning of the run from the 60 cents all the way up to $15. So I mean, you just see straight squeeze, straight squeeze, straight squeeze, straight squeeze. All right. I kind of let FOMO get the best of me. Also, you know, I haven't actually day traded in probably about a year. I've just been collecting data over this last year. But this right here, when I seen this, I was like, oh, okay. I played IGC yesterday. So I'm thinking, you know, after yesterday's big run, you know, we had a pop aftermarket, flattened, stayed above. I tried playing it in this area, failed on me. Then it ripped and did all this without me. I had no more day trades left in my account I was trading with. And then it continues to run aftermarket. So, you know, we got from 63 cents, you know, up to about $4 aftermarket. So, you know, I was excited to see it today. Definitely something I wanted to watch if it broke the top right here of the 4. Let me get my little cursor. There we go. So you feel me? Where this red line I'm going to put in right here. Boom. I wanted it to see it break that. Obviously it did break it. Ran up to 450. So an extra 50 cents. So now let's go back to the day pattern. All right. So as I'm watching this, it's getting really choppy, right? So then the market opens. This is a market open, as you can see, from gray to black. Market opens and it just drops. So at that point, I'm thinking, okay, I'm more focused on NTN at that point, because NTN was looking strong, and it's still looking strong right now. It's up over 200% at the moment. The market is still going. It's 9:54, so about 10 o'clock. Okay. So I took my eyes off of that. Okay. Now let's go to NTN. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing in NTN. All right, I see the morning spike, boom, pre-market, pulls back, spikes again, boom, comes down, tops this line, tops it again. So it created what we call a double top, right? So it made a double top. So when the market opens, let's get in this area right here. So as the market opens, boom, it breaks that double top. And right here in this 384 or 380 area. Somewhere around there. Okay. So that's when I enter. I enter in this candle right here. Okay. Now, when I enter in that candle right there, it drops. This is about a 9% drop. About a 9-10% drop. That thing drops so fast, as you can see. See this little candle right here? So when it's red, this is where it starts, and this is where the candle ends. And this is just the volatility in between, right? So when this one dropped, I was just about to hit that button like, holy shit, you know, it blew past my 6%, which happens. It happens. Luckily, it bounced back really fast. And so at that point, I was down maybe about 5%, and then this green candle comes in. So I'm like, okay, cool, now it broke back over, right? So I'm like, okay, whew, thank God. Woo, you know, because I was about to take that 9% loss. So I'm thinking, okay, now it broke this high of this candle. So I'm thinking, man, this thing can run. And then this candle, then this candle, then it's chopping around in this candle. So, you know, I just, at that point, you know, it was already going to drop again to 350, which would have been past 6%. So I made sure I cut my losses. I believe I cut my loss in this candle right here. Yeah, I think yeah, it was this candle. One of these two candles I cut my losses in. So I cut my loss for a 5% loss because, like I said, as you can see, it retests again, hits this high, and then nothing. It just double tops. 1, 2, and then fades down. So this is about a 15% drop. So I tried, took my 5% loss. Now, so after that point, I started noticing as I'm taking this loss, somewhere in here. It's somewhere in this area because this is a 1 minute chart, as you can see, 1 minute. So this is in a span of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, right? So somewhere within this area is when I took my loss, 5% loss. Then when I noticed it ripped back, I was tempted, but I wanted to see strength and I wanted to see it blow past that. Didn't blow past it. Wound up fading down. So at that point, then I started focusing on IGC again. So if we look right here, IGC started ripping around this time, 640, as you can see. See, look at 640 areas. This is where I was in for this one. Boom, boom. 640 areas. As you can see, the time, 6:43, right here at the bottom there. So you roughly around that time, I noticed this started coming up. Boom, boom, boom. So then I instantly, because I already, as you can see right here, this is where, what do you call it? This is where I execute my trades. So I could buy the ask, buy the market, sell the bid. So, this is the ask. This is what people want to sell it for. And these are what people are willing to pay for it. So 294 by 293 right now. So, I could come down to them and sell it at the bid if I want to get out quickly, or I could just sell it at the market and the market will execute it out wherever the price is at. Okay, so when I started noticing this rip, I wanted to get in the 4. So when I'm noticing this is squeeze. This is pure squeeze. So when I'm noticing the squeeze, I get in this candle and I hit, instead of hit by the ask, I put by the market, because when it's squeezing, I could say I hit by the ask and the ask happened to be at that time, let's say 403. Okay, well, if it blows by that 403 and it's at 408 now, it's not going to sell it to me, because on a limit order, it'll sell it to you at 403 or lower. It won't sell you at anything higher. So when it's squeezing like that, I typically like to hit by the market. I did. Luckily, it executed me in this 395 range, and it popped straight up to 450. Okay, so as I said, I have a system. My system is -6 plus 13. That's based off calculation of all the data I collected, and that's my range where I know in the macro in the long term, it's going to be profitable. It's going to be a profitable system for me. So I understand this. So, and it just so happened at this 450 area was right at the top. That was I almost executed my sell order, but it had me at 12.98%. Like I said, I'm plus 13. So, I mean, it was there, 12.98, but I was, I was holding on just a little bit longer, waiting to crack that 13, and next thing I know, this one candle just tanks immediately. So now basically I'm almost break even at that point. I'm probably up maybe 2%, maybe 3% at that. And then this candle comes in, boom, and drops to 380. Now, mind you, at this point, that's still not that bad. At 10%, let's see, 380, and I'm in it, so that's 15% drop. So that's still like a 4% drop. So I'm still in it. It's not that bad. So then it starts getting choppy. I'm thinking, okay, now it's going to pull back. Nope. And then once it cracks this right here into this candle, I'm like, okay, now it's breaking the trend, right? Because here's the low, just made a lower low, and then now here comes this low. Boom. So I was out in this candle at 365. Okay. Now, fear of missing out. All right. Let's talk about FOMO. Let's talk about FOMO for a second. You know what I mean? So, because I missed IGC yesterday, okay, and let's go back to the big one again. because I missed IGC yesterday, and then as I showed earlier, I'm just giving you my thought process on what happened, of what I was thinking during this time. Because, I did the research, and the history on this chart shows that, after its first big green day, it could run. And I mean, this thing could still run, so it's going to be on my watch list. Because as you can see right here, it runs from $64 to $2, pulls back, has a few days, and then when it breaks again, boom, breaks to 2, excuse me, breaks to 2, runs to 4, another 100, that's a 100% move, then pulls back, then when it breaks to 4, just pure squeeze all the way to 4.2. Okay, so the fear of missing that is what kept me focused on IGC. And as you can see, this is how it is right now. The market's still going, it's 10 o'clock, but as you can see, boom, I'm getting nothing but fade. I mean, right here, I started to see a curl, but there's no strength. I think I was ready if it broke this mark, but it just kept fading down. I want to say it was right here, because if I would have put this in there, 8:30. So this is about 8:30. Okay, let's go back over here. 8:30. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, so the reason why I didn't get back in there, so I used my first trade for NTN, and as we talked about, it broke my level of the double top pre-market. So to me, that was a morning spike reversal. So I was seeing, okay, NTN is a low flow stock. Let me get the details of it. So come on, let's go here. Let's get the details. All right, let's get the details. So I'm just going to show you my process, man, and like what my thought process behind trading, all the data I've collected to get me where I'm at today, and the understanding of how these things move. So as you can see, NTN is also a previous runner from $1 to almost $7, as you can see right here in 2 days. Okay, so when I start seeing this one, market cap 5.77 million, float 2.45 million. Okay, so that's really small. So that tells me that this stock could get squeezed, and as you can see in the history of it, in 2 days it went from $1 to $7. So that's something I really like to watch. So when it broke the double top and it failed again and came down, I took my 5% loss, and I kind of went back to IGC, because like I said, as you've seen the other runner, as I showed previously, this thing could also run. So right now IGC is 100 million market cap with a 33 million float. It's a little bit higher than what I like to play, but the psychological side of me and the emotional side of me came in like, man, I missed it yesterday because I was out of trades. I don't want to miss that run again. So as I'm focusing on this, this happens. Okay. Boom. So this is where I got out, right? I get out over here, fails, drops 15%. So I was very happy with taking my minus 5% right here. Took my 5% loss, drops, and then has this squeeze right here and breaks through those levels. Boom. Then keeps going up to 433. So when I noticed that, I said, oh, okay, this is gathering strength now. And as you can see, look, the volume faded, and then when it cracked, see how all the volume staying higher? These blue bars are the volume, okay? So when that happened, I'm like, man, this thing just gained strength. Then it blew past this level, another key level from pre-market, okay? This level right here, this is another key level. As you can see, when the market opened, it spiked, stopped right there at that red line. Boom, before it came back and broke again. So when it spiked past it and pulled back, I said, okay, I want to get in when it breaks this level, okay? About 435. And that's exactly what I did. Broke 435. I was in this candle, also because I wanted it also to break the support level from pre-market. So I was in at this candle, and I got in at 440. Pulls back just a little bit. Nothing big. It's like a 3% pullback, so I wasn't worried about it. And then it rips. And then I got out in this candle. When I noticed this huge candle and it didn't hold, or when I noticed this huge candle, I wanted to get out at the top right here. And I should have hit a sell the bid order, but I hit a market order and it executed me and it exited me at 490, which happened to be a little over 11% profit. It did wind up going over in this candle to about 17-18% profit, which I was trying to get out, like I said, plus 13. But just the way it executed me a little under 12. It was like 11.4% profit, something like that. So yeah, I mean, this trade, I could have just been slightly more patient. Like I said, man, it's been about a year since I've actually got back into executing trades and just getting familiar with this. And normally, if I had a loss already, I would so if I had a 5% loss, so instead of 13%, I normally would have went for 18 or 19%. So I could profit 13% on this specific chart. But as you know, I was so focused on IGC that I completely missed the original move, which, was where originally my target area where I wanted to get in. So, I could have really executed it at $4 and then got out in 490, which would have been more of a 20 to 25% move. But because I was so focused on IGC with the fear of missing out, instead of going with the first green day like I normally like to, I let my emotions get slightly the best of me with IGC because yesterday I missed it. But overall, I'm very happy with my performance. As I've said, I like to stay under -6. So as you can see right here, IGC, I cut my losses at 5%. And as I stated before, I trade with the same dollar amount. That's $1,000 position sizes. I chose $1,000 position sizes because for me, psychologically and mentally, it's a lot easier for, people try to avoid their P&L because your P&L could really change your thinking. You start seeing money. You see the money fluctuate. You're seeing up, your money's going up, your money's going down. And that's why in IGC, when it had this huge spike, I didn't exit because I didn't want the money to influence me. I was up, 11, 12%, which is, $110, $120, which would be great. I mean, before, when I first started, my early days of 2016, 2017, that was always my target. Make $100, lose $50. But see, back then, I was doing that with like $2,000 position sizes, $3,000 position sizes. So really, I was going for 5% or less, which ain't nothing, So I really want to stick to understanding that $1,000, that flat mark of 1,000, that when I see the dollar amount, then I know right here, $50 is 5%. So it's like psychologically, I don't look at it as money no more. I look at it as percentages because it just makes it easy for me. And when I scale, it's the same thing. So when I scale to $2,000, then I know when it hits 100, that's 5%. You know what I mean? So I can't go 6% as $120. So I keep the percentage in my mind. So when I see this is 5%. So I'm very happy with that because as you can tell, it just continued to tank down. If I would have held it and been a bag holder, I would be down, look, it's already down to the 290s. Look, it's in the 290s right now. And I was buying it at $4. So, I mean, I'd be down 25% right now. Okay? So, very happy with that exit. So, took my first trade here. Again, I executed 3 trades in a day. Took my first trade here. This one I was very happy with as well. Before it panicked down to drop of 15%, I would have took a 15% loss, but I cut my loss originally again at roughly around 5%. Was it 5%? No, it was actually 4%. I cut it at 4%. Because as you can see here, I'm plus 70 right now, which is plus 7%, because I traded this, cut my loss at 4%, and then when I started seeing it wind back up, when it broke here, in this candle I got in, and then it ripped up in this candle I got out. like I said, I could have held it and made 20%, which would have been realistic. But again, it did go up to 13%. It just when I hit the market, sell at the market, it wound up executing me at a little over 11%, which is okay. Like I said, I'm getting my feet wet again, man. My process is all I really care about. As long as I stick to my process, 11% is under 13. There's about 11.4%, but realistically, it did hit my target mark, and I'm very happy collecting 11% out of a 20% move. That's about half that move. Again, this is first green day. NTN meets all my criteria. Market cap 5 million, low float 2.4 million. I mean, that's beautiful. I mean, and the volume is crazy right now. You know what I mean? The volume is crazy. So I was very happy with this, but as again, kind of like IGC, this thing just keeps running. Now it's at 690. So, and I was in at $4 at 440 and exited at 490. But I still wouldn't have been able to hold because I'm very happy with my exit point, because this thing pulls back to, if I was still in at 440, it pulls back to 414, which is, I mean, that would have been very close. Let's see. Yeah, I was in at 440. Comes down to about 410. Yeah, so 30 cents. 30 cents times 227 shares. So that's over 6%. So I would have had to cut my loss. So instead of taking my 11.4% profit, if I would have stayed in it for that next big move, I would have cut my losses because it went under -6. Again, I don't regret playing this because it did do what I wanted. It did break the 4. It did break it. It just failed. And I was expecting the squeeze to continue, at least to collect my 13%. It did just so happen to top at 13. It just moved so fast that I wasn't able to capture it. And then the bounce it bounced and then just failed. So I was very happy with -5%. I was happy with my -5% here, and I was very happy with the way I executed here. So overall, my executions, I'm very happy with. Very happy with my executions. A little bit of FOMO with IGC, which, realistically, if I would have stayed focused on my first green day, when it broke here, I would have entered in this area. And if I would have entered in this area, either this candle, or this candle, that would have been 4 to 480 right here, and that would have been easy. I would have easily made plus 13%. And if I decided to execute that, this was at 710 that this happened, and I already took the first trade, second trade, but I was just a little fearful. I was also skeptical of this because I was afraid it was gonna also come back. Because see this big move, boom, pulls back, big move, and then pulls back. So this had to move, pop, pulls back, pops, pull back. So I was afraid if I bought it right here, it could have easily just pulled back and I would have been exited again. And then my focus stayed right here because of fear of missing out. I was hoping to see some kind of reverse. Let's see where I put the red line here. Yeah, this red line here. So this was about 720, right before, I bought this. So I was more focused. I was more focused in this area. So it's just something I gotta get readjusted to. Like I said, it's been a while since I traded. Very happy with -5% for this trade. This trade overall, I wound up with plus 7%. So I mean, on the day, I'm plus 2%. So technically, it's a green day, but it's just me getting back into the groove of things. Like I said, it's been a while since I've actually executed trades. Because when you're collecting data, it's not the same as the emotions that you go through, the psychological emotions and your thought process when you're seeing these things play out live, because they move so fast. You know, it's, even though I know that they're choppy, I play really volatile stocks and I know that they're choppy. You know, I like low flow, small cap momentum stocks, and they get really choppy, and I know this. So, you know, it's different because when you're collecting data, you know, you say, okay, what happens when it breaks a certain point? And then you collect the data on that. I want to know, you know, what's the maximum I could lose, what's the maximum I could gain, and then you calculate, you know, based off that. And then, you know, you separate them into market caps, you separate them into float categories. You know, I want to know how much volume is being traded, you know, how much volume is rotating, which is the float. So if the float's 2 million, you know, like for example, for NTN, you know, it's a 2.45 million float. So, you know, 2.45 million, and, you know, it's trading 20 million. So, I mean, it rotated 10 times. So, I mean, that gives you, which is exactly why this thing continues to run, because of the heavy volume. So if you go over here, let's see how much volume it has right now. So it's trading 100. It's already traded 100. If you look right here in this volume bar right here. So for the whole day, this day right here, 131 million shares have been traded on a 2.45 million flow. So that thing is just keep trading. People are buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling, which is why it's squeezing, and it broke this high. I mean, you know, this is the type of stuff I look for. I think I have to get better at focusing on maybe just the first screen day, because look, this also has NTN broke my other point, which I also like to buy pre-market breakouts. So I mean, even right here at in the 580 area, you know, drops 40 cents, but in the 580 area, you know, I'm only buying like 100 and something shares. So, you know, and then it squeezes up to the sevens. So I mean, that's another $1 a share just in that range alone from this breakout. So, you know, I have morning spike, reverse, broke the reverse, boom, and then comes back, breaks pre-market high. So that's typically what I'm looking for. Like I think for me personally, I think I need to now just seeing the way I reacted to this, I need to start getting back to focusing on first screen days, the first day of the run. And, you know, because I executed this trade, and if I would have just stayed away from IGC, you know, I caught this part of the move, boom, and made my 11%. And then, you know, when this pulls back, I could have easily got back in right here when it breaks this double top. Topped right here, and then topped right here, and then it busts through right here. I could have easily made that at, you know, in the 530s. And then this ran to 6. So that would have been a 70% move. Or I'm sorry, 70-cent gain, and then it runs. So, you know, just getting back into the groove of things. Overall, I'm very happy with my executions. For me, still being, you know, getting used to the movement again, because as I was collecting data, like I said, there's no emotional attachment when you're collecting data. But when you're actually in the mix of a trade, it's a different mind frame. It's a different mindset. My mindset was completely stuck on plus 13, minus 6. I have executed that, I think, beautifully. If we go here, I'll just show you some my spreadsheets from my actual trades from the last 2 days. So I mean, this tells a story. You feel me? This tells a story. So if we focus right here, let's see. Oh, it's still loading. Okay, let's see. And so if you focus right here, I exited yesterday at 4%. I could have potentially lost 15%. That's where it bottomed before it had its big rip. Completely missed that one. That's where I got the fear of missing out from, okay? And then very happy with this one, BOXL. I could have lost my 6%, which, like I said, minus 6 is where I'm trying to exit. I took minus 4. Beautiful, because it did hit the 6. I would have lost maximum 6.2%. And this one just started to crap out. And then today, NTN. it dropped nearly 16%. I cut my loss at 4%. Beautiful. Then here we go with ICG. I noticed that in my last video I kept calling it a IGC, but it's ICG. So ICG -5, which is why I stayed in it, and it did touch my max gain. Could have been 13.75%, which based off of just the actual numbers that we have here, says 13.5%, but actually in reality it was 12.98%. But see, I cut it at 5% because it didn't actually reach this, even though that's what the numbers say here. It was actually 12.98%. Even though it didn't actually reach this, it still dropped, more than 13%, and it just continued to drop after that. So what I base off this max loss is the drop. Okay, so when it drops before the bounce, so I want to catch that drop, and it dropped 13 or -5, and then as you can see here, plus 11.35%, my max loss was negative 3.63. So this didn't meet the criteria of 6% or more. So I didn't have to cut a loss. I stayed in it. The maximum I could have gained was 20%. So, making 11% on a maximum gain of 20% in that move was beautiful before you seen the major pullback, before now it ripped again. So I'm very happy with these trades. And out of six total actual day trades that I took, I'm down 6%, and this is based off of my position size. Okay, so this isn't based off my account size. So my net is $4,000. Okay, so this is -6 off of 1,000, so that's $60. $60 on $4,000 is 1.5% total loss. That is beautiful for me to execute 6 trades in 2 days, and on my net I'm only down 1.5%. Man, I'm telling you, the system overall is going to work regardless. I have 1 win out of all 6 of these trades, and I'm only down 6%. That means I'm averaging -1% per trade. So all it takes is 1 good trade, and I'm back in the mix. It's that simple. I truly believe in my process. It's just a matter of me getting used to executing them again. Because as you can see right here, if I would have stuck to this and not moved on to BOXL, 162% max move, I could have definitely got my 13%. I'd have been -4, and then I could have collected 15%, or let's see, because if I'm -4, I'd have to collect 17% to have a 13% total gain on him. So, which I could have easily done, but unfortunately, I was out of day trades. And then right here, for this day, if I'd have stayed focused on this, cut it, and instead of playing this and stayed focused on NTN, I could have easily, when it broke that 4 area again and had that spike, I could have easily got in to the 480s and collected 17%. And then again, I could have got back in and then collected this 11%. So, it's just a matter of executing. That's why you want to collect all this data. That's why I collect this data. Just to show that overall, that's beautiful. I can't ask for nothing better. And as you can see, NTN continues to go. That's why I focus on these, because and I think that's where my focus has to be first green days, unless something just continues to run like this. As I noticed yesterday, at least I stuck to what I said I was in my video yesterday. I said, yesterday I had got in. I keep forgetting IGC or ICG. IGC, right? Yeah, I got an ICG. I got into IGC yesterday at like 4:30 in the morning pre-market. 4:30 a.m. The market doesn't open until 6:30. So that's 2 hours of pre-market. If I'd have just waited for market open, I could have easily executed that and got in and would have been profitable. But because I didn't focus on that, because the market after yesterday, I knew after yesterday, okay, we're going to get some runners. And sure enough, look at today. Now we're having another big 300% move, just like IGC did yesterday. NTN is doing that today. And I did happen to be profitable, up 7% on this particular move. I'm happy with my executions, but as I said, if I would have just ignored IGC today, fear of missing out, which is what led me to watch it, because it was a previous runner, I allowed my emotions to get the best of me, where I was more focused on IGC than I was NTN. And also, let's see, let's look at the news for NTN. Reports a merger deal with Brooklyn Immunotherapeutics approved by shareholders. Okay, so it's just a merger deal. Compared to IGC, which was yesterday. This was FDA approval. Okay, so you know they're right in the same lane. They're right in the same biotech lane. You know, so this is basically like sympathy based from this yesterday. So, you know, and this met all my criteria. This did not meet all my criteria. It's a little higher than what I typically like, but the fear of missing out was what got the best of me. Overall, like I said, plus 2% on the day. You know, out of 6 trades, minus 6%. I can't be mad at that. I just have to continue to slowly refine my process. I'm perfectly happy with my -6. As far as cutting losses, I'm extremely happy with cutting losses. Okay, I've been doing great cutting losses. I got to get a little better at executions, which, you know, for traders, you know, it's just muscle memory, man. It's just like playing sports. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, like if you play basketball and you ain't played basketball for a whole year, you're gonna be off a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it's still there. But, you know, you got to be at it every day till where you're back in your groove, where you're like, okay, cool, I'm running smooth. And as you can see, NTN is still running. This is a huge runner. Dude, I would love to get in it as an overnight play, but as I've stated in my previous video, you feel me, overnight plays were my strengths. Swing trading wasn't my strengths, and pure pennies ain't my strengths. So, you know, I want to stick to my strengths. It doesn't matter if it gaps up like IGC, because yesterday I kind of I thought about maybe buying an overnight yesterday too, because it closed in the 260s. If you look here, it closed right here, 268, and then it opened at 345. So I mean, that was almost a whole dollar, a gap up of $1. So, you know, that would have been, you know, a nice 20% move just selling it at the open. But it did have a tank, so it might not have executed, but it would have executed when it ripped back up. But it's not my strength. So I want to stick to my strengths. Again, I'm happy with what I've accomplished today. Cut my losses 5%, 4%, and had an 11% move. 11% profit. So, you know, -5, -4, plus 11, you know, a little over 2% profit. Slowly getting back in the mix of it, man. So, you know, yeah, so that was my thought process on today. I just wanted to, you know, for myself, it's best that I document this. Even my emotional, so I collect the numbers and data, but also record these videos because I need to understand where my mindset is psychologically, so I could play back these videos for myself, not only for anybody who's watching this, but for myself. I think the most important thing is collecting the data on yourself, your emotional data and the numerical data. And as you can see, NTN just keeps running, man. It's up to 776 now. Remember, I was in at 440. So, you feel me? So I needed more save my day trades for something like this, because if I would have executed 3 day trades, I would have took 1 loss, would have won 1. And if I would have bought the break here, the high day break, yeah, I would have had a 0% pullback. Because once it breaks, look, boom, it bounces right off it. So it never dips below this breakout area. Boom. Which would have been probably realistically where I would have got in, and if I would have missed it, I would have got in here in the 580s, which it breaks there as well, but it pulls back. But that's really not that big. I mean, that's 40 cents on a $5 you know, almost a $6 stock. So I mean, 40 cents. So I'd probably had about 160 shares maybe. So I mean, that'd have been close. That'd have probably been a little bit over 6%. So I'd have probably cut my loss right there, and then would have took another 6% loss. So I'm very happy with the executions for today. I'm very happy with cutting my losses. Definitely something I want to stay focused on. -6, as long as I stay -6 or above, I'm extremely happy. Just need to work on my executions just a little bit better, which that'll come in time, man. I just got to get back into my groove. Like I said, man, it's been about a year since I've executed trades. But like I said, man, so I was able to trade 3 yesterday, able to trade 3 today. Got one more account. Depending on what happens tomorrow, am I going to trade? I don't know. If something meets my criteria. Obviously, this met my criteria, and my FOMO got the best of me with this one, even though this does not meet my criteria. Yesterday it did slightly, because what was it yesterday? I believe it was, I want to say, what was the market cap yesterday? I want to say when it was over here in the dollars, it was like, the market cap started like at 25 million. Yeah, it was like 25 million with a 33 million float. So, you know, this 25 million was in my criteria. But when you're over 100 and when you're over 100 million market cap and over 20 million float, I normally stay away. Remember that. James, talking to myself here. Remember that. You feel me? 100 million, over 100 million, over 20 million. That's not your strengths, bro. You feel me? This, definitely my strengths. Under 10 million market cap, under 10 million flow, under 5 million flow, really. And it has 130 million volume. So, that is it for today. That's all I got to show. Again, man, I hope if anybody's watching this, I hope it helps you in understanding a process, because everything is process. Stick to your process. That's why I'm very happy. I can take a loss all day, every day, and it does not bother me as long as I stick to my process. All right? Stick to the process. -6, plus 13 for me. You feel me? I want to keep it within my range, under 100 million, under 100 million market cap, unless the float is under 10 million. If it's 100 million plus, then I'm cool with a 10 million float or lower, but preferably 20 million float or lower and under 50 million market cap. That's me personally. That's what I like to focus on. It's really volatile, but it's also very profitable if you know how to execute the trade. So I just need to get better at executing my trade. And again, the more I'm back to trading on a daily basis, it's just going to slowly come back to me where I get more and more comfortable. And very happy with today's executions, because it's the process. Executions is what I'm focused on, and the way I executed each 3 trades today, I was very happy with. So that's it for today. Till next time, you feel me? Gone.